This is the tutorial for the web app diviText. diviText allows you to cut your text into chunks and then creates a merged TSV file which can be viewed in Excel and used to create a dendrogram using TreeView. The first step is to upload a scrubbed plain text file in UTF-8 encoding. If you scrubbed a text file using Scrubber, you can upload the file Scrubber downloaded onto your computer directly into diviText. If you upload a file containing punctuation or unfamiliar characters, diviText will not be able to process the file correctly. Once you've uploaded the file, it will appear in the Text Manager window on the left. Click on the file to view the text in the Visual Cutter window. In the Cutting Tools window on the right, we have three options for cutting the text. The first is to cut the text by specifying the number of words you want in each chunk, for example, 1,000 words. Click Cut, and you can see in the Chunk Viewer window up top that the text of the poem Daniel is now divided into 4 chunks. Notice that each chunk is highlighted in a different color. To view each chunk, you can scroll down in the Visual Cutter window, or click on a chunk in the Chunk Viewer. Clicking on a chunk will make it flash in the Visual Cutter window. In the case of Daniel, you can also see that the last chunk is 472 words longer than that of any of the other chunks. This is because Daniel is not evenly divisible into 1,000-word chunks. You can slide the last proportion bar to create a larger final chunk of 1,472 words, or a smaller final chunk of 472 words. So let's reset and look at the next cutting option. Here you can choose the number of chunks you would like the text to be split into. For example, 5 chunks. And the text will be cut into 5 equal chunks. You can see the size of each chunk in the Chunk Viewer. In this case, Daniel is cut into 5, roughly 900-word chunks. Finally, you can use the Visual Cutter to manually define chunk boundaries if you want to define chunks by content rather than by word count. Notice that when you scroll over a word, it is highlighted, and the word number appears in a small box by the cursor. In Daniel, we have a sentence that is cut in half between chunks 3 and 4. We can use Visual Cutter to get the entire sentence to fall within chunk 3. Since whereon is the start of the next sentence, we click on whereon to redefine the start of chunk 4. You can see that this creates a new small chunk. To delete the original chunk 3-4 chunk boundary, we click on the original boundary, which in this case is the word blad. This deletes the boundary and joins that small chunk to the rest of chunk 3. Now that we're satisfied with the chunks, we can give the chunk set a descriptive name, such as Dan_5 chunks, and save the chunk set. You can save multiple chunk sets for each text. To view saved chunk sets for each text, simply click on the plus sign next to the name of the file in the Text Manager window, and the chunk sets will appear below the name of the file. Next, we want to merge the chunk set. Click on Merge Chunk Sets below the Text Manager window, and you will see a list of all of your saved chunk sets from this session. To merge the chunk set, simply drag the chunk set from Available Chunk Sets on the left to Merged Chunk Sets on the right. Give your merge a descriptive name, like Dan_5 chunks, and click Download Merge. The file produced will be a merged TSV file which can be viewed in Excel and used to create a dendrogram using TreeView. diviText appends merge_transpose in front of the name of your merged chunk set to create the name of your downloaded file. If you want to compare chunks from multiple texts, cut both texts and save both chunk sets. Then, in the Merge Chunk Set box, you'll be able to drag whatever chunks you want from different texts into the merged side, and then name and download the merged TSV file. The file will contain word counts for both texts in a form that can be used by TreeView.